Both my parents immigrated from the Dominican Republic in the late 1960s. They arrived in New York City. They didn't know each other back then. They met while working at a fish tank factory here in the United States in New York. It was challenging. There were language barriers. My mother had a bit more of an advantage because she ended up being a union rep for the factory where she worked. Part of her training was to be enrolled in English classes at the Berlitz Institute. My father had more on-the-job training. He just kind of learned the day-by-day struggle and survival. With a lot of hard work, my parents opened their very first bodega in the Bronx. And at one time, they owned two at the same time. But the neighborhood that we moved into in the Bronx, the series of apartment buildings that we lived in, that community at that time was predominantly Italian-Irish. There were not many Latinos. We may have been one of the first, if not the first, to move in. And there was some prejudice, if you will, about our presence there. But my parents earned the respect, the trust, and dare I say, the love and affection of their fellow neighbors just by being themselves, just by showing their generosity, their willingness to help. For example, elderly neighbors that were in need, that perhaps they were too frail to come buy things, they would bring the groceries to them. Or sometimes in medical emergencies, my parents would shut down the bodega to go to their aid. It's a story that comes up a lot when they share their memories with friends and family. La Broa and the Latino community of Providence, Rhode Island. I'm kind of new to learning about the history of the Latino community here, and I've learned by being part of this project. It resonates a lot with me being the daughter of immigrants, seeing the resilience of this community, how businesses were built, how community was built, seeing the effort, the courage of the Latino community, of those that paved the way, that blazed the trail, so to speak, to stand up, to empower themselves, to give voice to the collective for those things that were needed, be it the ability of having bilingual interpreters in hospitals and medical facilities, seeing Latinos rise to prominence in local politics, in the local infrastructure. That means a lot to me. The pride in their individual cultures, because you have Latinos from different countries, Dominican Republic, Cuba, Mexico, Colombia, Guatemala, Honduras. And it's beautiful to see how they maintain that sense of pride, of individuality, but also seeing the beauty of how all those cultures have been weaved together. And it's just this delicious melting pot, if you will. So I'm very honored and very proud to learn about this community and to tell the story of this community.